This Porsche drops itself at night. It throws the code chassis error or vehicle extremely low, and now the pump won't shut off. So today I'm fixing it in my driveway. What's up, guys? Today we're gonna fix the Porsche air suspension management, which is the PASM. Look at this, it's huge. It's a huge suspension. It's an air suspension. Every morning this thing gets dropped to the ground, and we're gonna fix this once and for all, forever. When I bought this car, I knew that the PASM system had a problem. Every morning the car would be on the ground just like this. There are messages on the dashboard that eventually go away, and I gotta wait 10-15 minutes for the car to raise. Comment down here if your car does that same thing. The shock showed up today, and I'm gonna do this on my driveway. So be sure that the air suspension is on the right mode inside. Let's go in there. Be sure that you have jack and jack stands. Car's not gonna roll down, so be safe. So this is what you're gonna do. You go to this button here, press for 11 seconds, and you're gonna see there in 11 seconds disabled. Mine, because of all of those messages, it doesn't let me disable, which means it's already not working. You need to do this here in your case if yours is somewhat working. So I'm gonna call mine good. I'm gonna pop the hood. We need to remove all of this here to get access to the strut. Disconnect this seal out of there. Okay, you slide to the side and it comes off. You gotta pull this thing up and then move this cable to the side. And there we have our big boy. We gotta take 3 nuts from the top. We gotta take this one out and this bottom one right in here. If it doesn't come off, we might need to take this out and then put back in. At this point, I decided to stop winging it and downloaded the factory service manual from the emanualonline.com. This is the exact Porsche workshop manual that the dealers use. It tells you what to remove, how to remove, what the torque spec is, what the orders are, even how to remove the air line and what the procedure to fill up the air and bleed the air. In this case here, I found exactly what I needed. To my surprise, there is a ball joint puller, which I never used on my drift car, because it comes out and goes back in very easily, but in here it really didn't. So I left with the truck, bought this tool here. I knew what to buy, I knew how to use it, and even the torque spec I could find here pretty easily. I reached out to them and they were nice enough to offer me a link with 22% discount. I'm gonna share with you guys here in the description. So if you want to get this manual for any car, just hit this link, find your car and download it. So back to work. Let's keep the jack down here to support the lower control arm. Very important. Ooh. So be sure to support this here, because when you take this big boat, the shock's gonna go down. Here started my saga with a set of extensions, removing nuts, 4 bolts. This is where everything got complicated. We need to remove this here as well. So with an 18mm. So I went to Napa and bought this tool. I'm gonna put the link of an Amazon. What you just do is you put this thing in there, you start tightening. This is gonna start tightening the bolt, pushing the actual stud in there. This looks easier on the video, but there's a lot of turning and tossing and moving to get this out. And here we go with the old and the new. There's no much difference. The old one wasn't looking terrible, but it was leaking somewhere. It had a little plate on top, so be sure to get the plate. There you go. Okay. All right, we did it. It's holding on its own right here, just hanging in there. It started raining, but the upper control arm, it did go in. And just so you know, I need to put a ratchet like that and then do it. Oh my god, I just screwed my car. This is gotta be 48 foot-pound, and you put it in there. There you go. Now I'm gonna release this thing here. There you go. Finger tight, I guess. Don't need to be like extra tight. It's tight enough. There's an O-ring in there. The O-ring is gonna do the job. It seems that everything is good here. This side is done. I'm gonna put the tire back on. Everything seems to be good. It'll work perfectly. I can't start the car yet because I need the other side. Today is raining and it's 34 degrees. I just needed to finish this. Tomorrow I'm gonna do the next one and then I'm gonna start the car. We will need to remove this here, which is all of that, just to gain access to a boat that is right here. That's so stupid. We're gonna remove the wipers out of the way. To remove the windshield wipers, you need two tools. This one to take the little cap, and this one to grab around it. And this is how it works. You open this all the way until it can fit down there. You tighten this thing. There you go. And this is out, just like that. So this side is going to be exactly the same thing we've done on the other side. Let's skip straight to rebuilding the end of the air hose. Alright, so I cut the end. I took the little ring out. Then I'm going to get the new one. I'm going to put the new one in there. The little ring, there's one side, it's like a cone. So the cone part goes in first, and then the bottom part. Alright, it's dark already. I am going to start the car. I think the air is gonna come, and then it's gonna fill up the air and it's gonna go away. Vehicle extremely low. Okay, pump is running. See? I wanna see you going up. Oh my god, it is going up. Look at that. I can't believe it. Alright, it worked. Car is up. It didn't need to fill up with nitrogen or nothing. Look at that. It just went up, so we're gonna see tomorrow morning. I'm so excited to see this thing not having that issue anymore. Oh, it's been what, 5 months since I got the car and always had that problem. Okay, first thing in the morning, we're gonna see if the air is still happening. Check it out. Nope, it's great, it's up. It's not slammed anymore. That is amazing. At least it paid off, guys. And